right, good afternoon. How are you doing this afternoon? Making sure the mic works. Yes, it is working. Let me know if it's not. But hopefully you're having an okay afternoon. It's been really tough around South Central Texas lately with everything that's going on. Real heavy. Well, let me tell you what the weather is going to do, or at least what I think the weather is going to be doing. We got a flash flood watch that is in effect. There will be some areas that'll see an additional 2 to 4 inch downpour, and that would be bad because we've already got saturated soils. We've already seen some very heavy downpours in some locations. An additional 2 to 4 inches in some places would be really bad. I think for the most of the rest of the week, except for Thursday and Friday, we've got a chance for some scattered rainfall. Okay, today is a KENS 5 weather impact alert. Flooding is possible. Stay aware. It's looking less likely for us here in Bexar County, but we're not out of the woods entirely. I think the focus is going to be more into the hill country, unfortunately. Let's step through this really quickly here. Let me get rid of that, and we'll step through this real quick. Okay, and by the way, if you've got a question, I've got my ears on here, so let me know if you've got a question. Okay, so flash flood watch is in effect until 7 o'clock this evening. If it's possible that this flash flood watch could be extended into the evening, just depending on what happens. But it's looking more and more likely that there is a possible flooding situation in the northern part of this flood watch, and maybe not as much on the southern part. But I would say anywhere in that flood watch, there is a chance for some flooding today. Why do I say what I just said? Well, here's what's going on. We've got an inverted trough. I don't know if you can make that out, but from San Antonio, by the way, usually on these streaming sessions that we do, I may get a little long-winded, may talk about things that I probably wouldn't talk about on the broadcast side because I've got time and I can talk and I'll go. So I apologize if you really want to know what's going on because this may take a little while. But either way, we've got a big ridge of high pressure over in Arizona and New Mexico, and this is about 10 to 12,000 feet. Notice the direction of the winds at that level, out of the north and east to the south and west. Notice across South Central Texas, kind of southerly in the eastern part of the state. You can make out that's an inverted trough right there. We've got a trough, and that is with all this humidity, tropical moisture, that's where the moisture is drawn right there, and that's where the convergence is, there where that trough is. At the same time, let me see if I can, since this is mid-levels, it doesn't show it very well, but there's an outflow boundary across the northern part of the state. You can almost kind of make it out on this where it's moving southward. Right now, let's see, moving kind of close to Abilene right now. See that? See that motion southward? At the same time, we've got a lot of moisture working the other way, and then that trough is kind of like a magnet. Well, what I'm thinking is going to happen is that outflow, that northerly push, is going to really make a lot of convergence along that trough, and then may push southward. Well, there could be some very heavy rainfall, 2 to 4 inches, moving like across the western portions of the hill country. And that would be very, very bad. Now, I think at this point, it's kind of a medium chance that that's going to happen, but that's what I'm kind of looking at, and the guys at the Weather Prediction Center, most of those guys are probably smarter than me, they have seen that as well. And so looking at that part. So that's what my focus is on. Okay, so where is the rain now? Well, it's not here in Bexar County. We've got a few showers over towards Eagle Pass, and the bulk of the activity is way up here. And notice the slow-moving nature too, very slow-moving. Across the eastern sections, not much happening. We don't have much of a cap. We'll get into the low 90s today. So I'm expecting at least some thunderstorm action to develop here across Bexar County as well. Okay, and looking at Bexar County, we don't have any shower activity right now. And I think here this afternoon, it's going to be real hit and miss, maybe 30 to 40%, but some will develop. Okay, let me see if I can get to some questions here. Anastasia, okay, are we in tryouts this weekend? Okay, Karen, good afternoon. Thank you so much for the update. You are so welcome. And Whitney, hi. How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing great. Okay, let's go on to where we've seen the heavy rainfall. Now, Oh, well, we'll back up a little bit. Let's go. I shouldn't have hit that button. Okay. The heaviest rain over the last 48 hours has been over Burnett County, northern portions of Travis County, western Williamson County, right there. Also, we had some heavy downpours, Comal County, Guadalupe County, and then if we went back to 72 hours, of course, around Kerrville. So there's many areas, especially the Kerrville area, northwest of Austin, and just east of San Antonio, that it's just not going to take very much to put us back into a flooding situation. Again, like I said earlier, I think the southern part of that flood watch probably not as risky. Northern part of that flood watch, it's looking more and more risky. Like I said, about a medium threat, I would put it at. Okay, so temperatures right now, we're sitting in the mid 80s at 85, on our way to a high of 91. Kerrville's in the low 80s at 82, Seguin 88. And where they've seen a lot of sunshine, Gonzales coming in at 91, and Hallettsville also at around 91. Okay, I think I can show you that outflow, or let's see, yeah, right there. Can you see it? Maybe I can zoom in. No, I can't. But can you see that right there across the northern part of the state, and it's pushing southward, and so that's why I think that convergence will take place across the western hill country, and I guess what would that be, the Concho Valley there around San Angelo? Okay, so we've got a ridge of high pressure, Arizona, New Mexico. We've got that inverted trough that I was telling you about. That's what that is right over south central Texas. I think that trough goes away. Tomorrow, though, we're in between two highs. So our rain chances don't go away. I think about a 30% chance for tomorrow with highs low 90s. And then Wednesday, again, we've got a chance for some showers and some storms. I'd say about a 30% chance. We're right in that weakness between two highs, and that's a pretty good place to be if you want rainfall this time of the year. Then Thursday and Friday, even though we've got this weakness in place, we're going to have this Saharan dust coming at us, and I think that's going to really limit rainfall activity Thursday and Friday. The dust goes away. We still have that weakness Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday, so we still have a chance for some scattered rainfall. I'll spare you the Saharan dust, just trust me. Got a pretty good swath of that coming in for the 10th and the 11th. Okay, computer models there all over the place. They've been doing a really not so stellar job. I'm going to use the HRRR, the early one, the one that comes out every hour. That's what we're using here. As we head into the afternoon, again, for south central Texas, including San Antonio, real hit and miss. 30 to 40% chance this afternoon. If you get underneath one of those heavy downpours, though, watch out. And then notice in the hill country, it's not really handling that situation the way I told you. And sometimes you just got to fly without instruments and just go with what you think may happen. And that's what I'm thinking across the western portions of the hill country. This afternoon, late this afternoon into this evening, some of the rain could be really heavy, and that would be really bad. Okay, so let's take a look. This is from the Weather Prediction Center. This is what they've got. They've got a little bullseye here of a moderate risk for flooding, and that would be for late this afternoon into the evening, and that does include western portions of Kerr County, northern Real, and also northern Edwards County, all the way up to around Brady. Okay, let's back up a little bit and see if we can answer some more stuff. Hey, Rita, you're right. Thank you, and prayers for the folks in Kerrville. There's no doubt about that. Like I said, it's just been real heavy lately. Ramona, will it rain in San Antonio? Not at all today. Like I said, about a 30 to 40% chance. There's a chance you may miss out. And the nature of convective rain, the airport over the last several days has only picked up 0.9 inches of rain, while other places have picked up, a foot. So it's really convective in nature. It's hard to pinpoint. I don't trust any of these computer models right now, and I would say about a 30 to 40% chance this afternoon. Let's see, David, hey, how are you doing? Hope you're doing great. And let's see, JC, yep, prayers for Kerrville, exactly. And Jordan, what is the shape of the low pressure? It doesn't seem to be lined up vertically. It's like, yeah, like a traditional, right, exactly. By the way, that you had a good point there. Did you notice on Friday, July 4th, how it really, the way this whole thing came together, by the way, was we had leftover moisture from Barry, copious amounts of moisture, And here's the unfortunate thing, and I don't know if anybody's kind of explained this to you, but a lot of times we have these particular type of flooding events. They happen at night, and here's the reason why. Let me see if I can go back to the map here. Okay, we've got the coastal plain, which is right at the Gulf, is sea level. Up around Kerrville, a couple of thousand feet elevation. So you're going kind of uphill there, right? So you got that kind of, that helps, the lift of the terrain. And then at night, because the sun goes down, the atmosphere stratifies. And so you get like a conveyor belt at about 5,000 to 7,000 feet. It's what we call the low-level jet. And man, that will just push moisture, just feed it into a thunderstorm. And if you get enough thunderstorms that are in one place for too long, like what happened in Kerrville, they'll have a tendency to just kind of sit there. And that low-level jet feeding that moisture. And again, it's kind of it's a phenomenon at night because the sun is not there to disrupt the low-level flow. And so that's why some of these events, it seems like they happen at night and in the summertime, and that's what happens. If you have a copious amount of moisture, the low-level jet, and you have too many thunderstorms that just kind of sit in one place, then then you have a lot of latent heat release, and it's a really efficient way to produce warm precipitation. And so unfortunately, that's what happened. And the same thing happened the next night up there around Burnett and just northwest of the Austin area. So again, got off track a little bit, but let's see, cloud seed. You know what? I've heard that. I don't think so. I mean, I just don't. It would be very reckless to cloud seed with that kind of an atmosphere in place. There's just no way. I know I've heard that, but there's just no way. Let's see, William really broke my heart. Oh, I know. It's just it's heartbreaking, really, right? And Rogelio, let's see. Yep, stay safe out there. Exactly. Is the rain going to lower the drought monitor? You know what? The drought monitor is still exceptional, but I think that drought monitor will improve, and we'll get to some of the good effects from some of this rain here in just a second. You kind of led me just right into it. Just for the heck of it, we'll do the pollen count. If you're allergic to mold, I think I am. You've got 6,150 in heavy. Let's take a look at the aquifer. The aquifer is responding to the rainfall. Matter of fact, it's gone up about 15 feet since May 22nd. That's on the bright side of all this rain. And also Canyon Lake, in case you're wondering about Canyon Lake, it has definitely improved. It was down to about 45% full, now almost 62 and continuing to go up. It's gone up about 16% since last month, and it's gone up about 10 feet since last week. Medina Lake, there hasn't been as much rain in the Medina River Valley. It's gone from 2%, like 2.5 I think it was, to 4.7. So it's improving, but boy, Medina Lake's got a long way to go. All right, let's take a look at this 14-day forecast really quick. Again, we've got a flash flood watch until 7 o'clock. There is the potential for some heavy rain, especially in the hill country late this afternoon and into this evening. 92 to 93 for Tuesday and Wednesday. 30% chance of rain Tuesday, 20% chance on Wednesday. And that's another thing that's good about the rainfall. You know, when we pick up soil moisture and we have a lot of rain across south central Texas, the summer almost becomes something more like what you would see in Florida. When we don't have rain and the soil gets really dry, then it becomes almost more like New Mexico or Arizona. So it's more like Florida this summer for sure. The Saharan dust comes back. Thursday and Friday becomes hazy. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, 20% chance of seeing some rain. And by the way, this is just my struggle. The computer models, but the further out you go with time, they want to go back to kind of climatology and what should happen and not really what's happening. And so these last 4 days that I'm showing you, the European model, the GFS model, which is the American, they have high temperatures like 102, 103 for the 17th, 18th, and 19th, and 20th. I'm struggling to keep those down to what I really think is going to happen, and it's more than likely, it's probably going to be more like mid to upper 90s, and that's kind of what I'm showing you here. So anyway, getting back to this little map, because I think this is very important. This is out of the Weather Prediction Center for late this afternoon and into this evening. There is a moderate risk that we could see some more flooding there in the western portions of the hill country, and I'll be watching that area very, very closely. Okay, before I let you go, let's see if there's anybody else. Hey, hello, Esmeralda. How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing great. Anastasia, we're going to get some more rain. 30 to 40% chance this afternoon. I think most of the heavy stuff probably will be north. That's right, Mario. Prayers to those flooding victims. It's just really, it's tragic. Let's see, Esmeralda and DP, how are you doing? Hope you're doing great. Jordan, yeah, I know, it's really, the lakes are going up, right? Really, you know what, the Balcones Escarpment, it really does. You know, our rivers are second to none, I really believe. I mean, the water comes right out of the ground most of the time, fed by the aquifer. The Guadalupe River is absolutely beautiful. Comal, Frio, all of these rivers. But a lot of the rivers here in south central Texas, especially the Guadalupe River Basin, can be just a total killer. And it's really, it's unfortunate. We still have tropical moisture. We do, but every day, and I'm glad you brought this up, Beth, every day that moisture level is going down and down and down. The last time I looked, the precipitable water was just over 2 inches, but July 4th, the precipitable water was 2.2, 2.3, extremely high. And just to kind of put it, because these numbers I don't usually share, it's usually just for us, you know, for forecasting, but on a typical summer day, the precipitable water is usually like 1.5, like an inch and a half. But you start getting up to 2.3, I mean, that's extremely tropical. And right now, I believe we're just a little bit over 2 inches. So it's going down every day. So therefore, if that goes down, then the threat of heavy, heavy rainfall goes down as well. Let's see, Jordan, let's see, yep, you're exactly right, the Balcones Escarpment. And Brianna had just left to float the drop. Yep, oh, man. Oh, wow, okay. Well, the Frio River is not nearly as bad, I don't think. And by the way, I'm gonna leave you with this. Not to toot our own horn here at KENS, but I don't know if you've watched any of the coverage that we had on, especially July 4th. It was amazing, and I was really proud, really was. And I hope that you enjoyed the coverage, even though it was just so sad and, like I said, a real heavy, just awful. But really, what I really wanted to share was Sue Kalberg was out at, I think it was Center Point, and she was right there as the Bernie, I think it was the Bernie Fire Department, I'm guessing, because it said Bernie on the side, right as they show up. Man, they put their stuff on, they put their helmets on, they put the gear. The river is just raging, and you can hear people in the distance needing help. And those guys, you talk about bravery. I mean, I'll be honest, if it was me, I would think about it for a minute. I probably would go, but I would think about it, because if you go out of that boat, it's not going to be good. And so anyway, those brave guys go out there and help. They rescued a little baby and some ladies, and man, it was just amazing. So, you know, hats off to all the first responders. All right, I know I'm going kind of far into this, but anyway, we really appreciate you streaming with us. We appreciate you watching KENS 5, and if you can download KENS5.com, go to KENS 5 Plus. We really appreciate it, and again, we thank you for streaming, and be safe out there. There is that flood watch until 7. Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate your time, and we'll see you later.